How the hell are y'all? How's it going, everybody? Taking a break from my... Oh no, really? It's coming on right away? Nice. Here you go. If you've never heard this song, this dude is maybe the most yarling singer ever. But I like this song for some reason. Wow, don't you wear my arms around you, my little head round. How's it going, guys? See, listen. It's the most American band I've ever heard in my life. That's one genre that really does not stretch out too far out of North America, is the Jarl. Not a lot of American, there's not a lot of European or Australian bands yarling, but then again, I could be wrong. They did have Silverchair after all. Where were Days of the New from? That is officially the most yarling band of all time. Days of the New. If you don't remember Days of the New, I'm not going to put it on for you. We're probably not going to go to the screen a lot today, guys, because there's just not going to be a ton happening on the screen. I'll explain what we're doing today. Today, we're going to be celebrating one of our long-lost brothers. One of the long-lost, we'll say not even brothers, one of the long-lost families of amp sims known as Thermionik. The Thermionik Collection. We'll be celebrating it today and hoping that this stream, I'm going to send it to Shane anyway. So if Shane ends up watching this, hi Shane. And we will be sending this, hopefully sending this to him. I do have his email address, although I haven't heard back from Shane in some time. But nonetheless, Shane, this is a celebration of the Thermionik Collection. And I'm also encouraging anybody that has thoughts on this collection, thoughts on what could be done with it. We're going to have our own talk. Maybe the developer will chime in later in the comments. That'd be cool. And also, if Shane ever wanted to, if Shane from Kazrog ever wanted to, I would totally love to have him on for a stream. And we do question and Q&A periods, like not like an AMA, but like an Ask Me Anything relatable, kind of thing. And we've done it many a times in the past. We haven't done it in a really long time, though. So I think we're going to need to get more developers in here for Q&As. And I think that would be a lot of fun. They always go over so well, and developers are always so beloved in here, so beloved by everyone in our community. We have a small community. Yes, it's true. 400, only 400. We have 400 strong. It's not by any means tiny, but at the same time, we're not huge yet. But everyone, we have quality members here, and we have a lot of people in here that are pretty well connected. As far as their reach goes, people that work for amp sim developers, people who we have no shills around here, but we have a lot of people in here that a lot of quality. It's not quantity, it's quality. And I think we have a terrific amount of quality in this community. And I think there's a lot of love for Kazrog products in our community as well. I use, as you guys are aware, I use the 1992 in probably one out of, we'll say even 3 out of every 5 streams. It seems like that thing makes an appearance. Why? Because it's my favorite amp sim ever made at this point, and it's truthfully an impeccable product. So today we're going to be going over the former collection known as the Thermionik Collection. Now we're going to talk about this and how it came out in blocks and bunches, and this is still to this day some of the highest quality modeling in anywhere in the industry. That's just my personal opinion. I think that this is one of the most incredible collections amp sims ever put together, and we're gonna discuss it. Like how things were when this came out was much different. There wasn't a lot of emphasis being put on the looks of a plugin, and I still don't. I mean, Shane obviously cares about the looks of a plugin, but in this, he basically said, "Listen, guys, do you guys want tone, or do you want something that's nice to look at?" I'm a one-man operation at the time. I need to put emphasis on one of these things. So I'm going to make these sound fucking amazing. They're not going to look like the real amps. They're going to be just Each one of them is going to sort of look like something you might see in like an alpha plugin, even sometimes these days. But it's functional. It's very low on the resources as far as the graphic needs. These are just the heads. We're going to be using our own cabinets. And now I'm going to go over to you guys. I'm going to go over the list of amps that are inside this collection. If anybody really wants to see something, let me know. I'm going to try to get through as many of these as I can. We might be here for 2 or 3 hours today, just chilling out with Thermionik. And can you buy this right now? No, you cannot. But that's something we're also going to discuss later in the stream. I really don't feel that putting this on sale would hinder any future sales of Ampcraft products. I know that the game has changed, and I think along the line somewhere, Shane may have, this is complete paraphrasing, but I think he said something to the effect of these things are just not holding their own anymore and are absolutely, like, you can tell these are kind of behind the curve. But are they? No, they're not. They're behind the curve for maybe the convenience folks that just want everything in one screen or one 3-panel plugin, and they need every single possible thing in convenience land inside that plugin. There are people like that, and there are people like myself and most of the community here that really love to build their own signal chains. And so these are still so phenomenally in demand and useful. I really feel, in my own personal opinion, there'll be a few of these today. My personal opinion is that Shane really needs to put this collection back on the market. Just in that form, it was the same form it was in when it left the market, when he took it down, the same form it was in. Put it out there, people, and put it out there as is, and have people understand that, yes, this is a different bird. You're going to have to build your own signal chains, but your tone is going to be phenomenal. So you have a lot of people that want to buy their own IRs, and they have a lot of people purchasing IRs these days. And that is going to be another thing. We're going to be going over a lot of IRs today. Some of them be just for fun, period correct from back in the day, like, your heavy hitters packs and whatnot from Ownhammer. And then some of them are going to be newer. I'm going to be using a bunch of pedal plugins featured in the Thermionik collection, as well as some of my own from my own random collection, like the Dead Horse or the Sword, and a few other things we'll be using today. Let's go to the comments. We've only got eight people here. It's a nice early. It's early, man. It's early, super early for Eddie. That dude is like up at the crack of, man. I'm just gonna. Oh my god! I had a little shake there. Gotta get a. Okay. We're listening to some soil work today because from one of my last conversations with Shane, I remember Shane being a huge soil work fan. So we're going to listen to nothing but soil work today. Because you know what? I really feel that Kazrog is one of the best companies in the business, has been for long before any of the heavy hitters right now out there. Most of the heavy hitters, I should say. We're talking, this company predates many of the companies that we go to for amp sims right now by a decade. You know what I mean? Like, this company absolutely knows their stuff. And my goodness gracious, are they good at what they do? He good? I'm not sure if it's a multi-person operation anymore or any longer. I don't know if it's a single person operation anymore. But nonetheless, we are inviting, if Shane would like to drop in and chat with us sometime. Boy, buddy, you're absolutely welcome. Please do drop in anytime. And I'm looking for something in particular. I want to listen to one of the old albums. I do love a lot of the new stuff as well, but I kind of want to listen to Predator's Portrait. Where did it go? Did I just go buy it? Wait. Wait a minute. Hold on a second here. Is it something? Here we go. Reloaded. I see. That's why it didn't show up. 2008. This is definitely not made in 2008. I'll tell you that. At least I don't believe so. All right, we're going to listen to some Soil Work. We're going to hang out and we'll talk. You know, feel free to. That's one band I feel is criminally underrated in the world of Guitar Heroes. This album is this band is criminally underrated all along the line. I mean, they always played that second fiddle to In Flames in the popularity of things, and I always fucking hated that because this band has always been like eons above In Flames in every way, shape, and form. And the consistency in everything they've ever done, minus maybe stabbing the drama. Just the playing, the writing, and everything else. This band, also the instruments, they both play these beautiful mayonnaise. I know I'm saying it wrong. All right, hang on a second here. What's going on, Xander Bananas? Hello, Eddie. Hello, Mr. Moonshine. My band is looking for a singer. I think you would be perfect. Is that right? Why is that you feel like I might be perfect for a singing position? Are we just talking about online here? Or is it just that you're looking for somebody with a criminally underrated mustache? I'm just kidding. I'm curious. All right. I'm flattered though. Why? I don't sing a lot on here, but I do sing a lot. And I've got a new project that I was just been thinking of the last little while. It's going to be completely separate from this. It's got nothing to do with amp sims apart from I'll be using amp sims in the recordings. Going to be recording some Canadian music is the best I can say for you guys. I keep having this building idea over the last little while I'm stewing on, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So stay tuned on that. I guess any music I record is technically Canadian music because I am Canadian and recording said music in Canada. What's that? Captain CanCon. Just call me Captain CanCon. If anybody doesn't know what CanCon is, we'll talk about that another time. That fool Shane got me excited last night telling me what he's working on next. What did he so you actually talked to Shane? Or is it something that he said online? Cool, man. Eddie, nice to see you. I'm just going back here. A very sought after. So you talked to him? Well, I'd be happy to, I'm going to be talking to Shane hopefully in the next little while. I'm going to send him this stream. And, but the thing is about Kazrog is I want to note that, I want to note my personal, just for everyone. And, you know, I know a lot of us have been using the Kazrog stuff for a long time. I've been using it since, I think, Recabinet 2? Recabinet 2, I believe, is where I jumped on board. And I was hooked ever since. And I have been a huge fan ever since way back. I've put a lot of hours in with Kazrog products. Back in the Honest Amp Sim review days, the largest, when we had the Honest Amp Sim reviews website, we had tons of views, daily views. And the most viewed post we had, even after it was discontinued, was Kazrog Thermionik. And I went and did a detailed review for each amp in the entire suite, the entire collection, a detailed review for everything, complete with ways that people with lower ability, machines with slower abilities, could make these work, because at the time they were a little beefy, especially if you started going into the options and going presence and depth and other things, right? There were things that would give you a little bit, especially if you crank now you can crank the quality up to 6 and turn all this stuff on, and modern machines will just literally just no sweat this and flick it right away. No problem. I got this. So it's literally, you can run these at their absolute highest quality. And what happens when you do that? Well, you get something that can absolutely hang with the current stuff. Okay, we're going to get into this. We're going to get into the lineup first, guys. we have, I'm not going to click on each one. I'm just going to go over what we have. And if there's anything you really want to hear, let me know. I've got a bassman. I've got a Fender bassman. I have I think it's a blackface reverb, Fender reverb. I have a Fender Champ. I have an Angle Savage 120, a dual rectifier, I believe a triple rectifier, a Friedman BE100, 2 different diesels, VH4s, if I'm not mistaken, 2 different ones. There's a blue face and a silver face. I believe Bo knows the difference between those two. We had talked about it in a stream once, but I went out the other. So I've got the Mark IIB, the Mark IIC Plus, the Mark IV, a Plexi, a JTM 45, a JCM 800, 3 different versions of the JMP. 2 of them have been modified, one by Jose Arredondo and the other... Who's the other one modified by? Oh, gosh. There's the Arredondo and the... Oh, help me out here. It's been a bit. Grr. All right, then we've got 2 different Bogners. I've got an Ecstasy and a Uberschall. My bad. Sorry. I have 3 different 5150s. I have 5151, 5152, 5153. I have the Framus. Is the Serpent is the Framus. What, the Framus Dragon? Framus. Gosh. Somebody help me out with that too. I've got a Soldano SLO 100. I have a Supro. I have an Orange. This is the I think it's the it's one of the Tiny Terrors, I think, one of the Terror amps, and then 2 different Voxes. One is the boosted one, right? And one is the regular channel. I think it's just 2 channels of the same Vox, I think. All right. Well, I mean, Xander Bananas, I'm pretty sure he's working on... He teased a rectifier before. He teased a rectifier before releasing that Jimmy Page amp. Now, okay, here's the other thing. Now, we're going to start playing on one of these now. Going to start with the 800. We're just going to go through, start talking on this as we're playing. I know sometimes I get a little carried away with the intros here, and everybody's like, is he going to play guitar soon, or should I just come back and hope for the best? I mean, what's going on here? Okay. Just going to make sure I'm all tuned up and ready to go. This is my Mindsinger Tempest. And still getting used to this guitar, but I've done a little bit more work in this setup, and it's playing even nicer than it was yesterday. Very, very excited about this guitar, as you guys are aware. Finally, also came to the decision that we're going to try an Aurora Tone Singularity in the bridge, along with the UV, the ultraviolet neck. I'm very excited about that. Let's see what we've got here. We're going to start with the 800. Then I also have some different fun little effects that I'm going to be putting in and out, and things we can use. We have the TPA one from Ignite Amps. If we ever just wanted to change the tube styles of any of these and just make them, EL34, 6L6, or give them any of the 3 tube types available here instead of the ones that they were modeled and coated and whatnot with, you can easily just go to the options panel here. You can turn off the power amp. Turn that off. It's gone. And then you can turn on the TPA one and inject whatever tube flavor that you'd like. If we're going to try that a little bit later, but not right now. I've also got at the start of my chain a few different things. Back in the day, we used to use like warming effects, things to give it a little bit more scooch of the realism. These never really needed much of that, but in this case, we do have some fun stuff. I've got the Voltour from Nembrini Audio set with a vintage warming effect that might make its way in a little bit later. And then I've also got the Kazrog's True Iron, which I'm going to place here in the chain and try it out and give you guys a good idea. The True Iron is one of my favorite Kazrog plugins. I've had this for a really long time, and I've used it on a billion different things. It just makes things sound great. I don't know how to better explain it other than it makes things sound really good. Okay, so let's go with these. Let's get started with the 800. And we have, what do we have for an IR loaded up? Probably the EGA. Yep. Why not just stick with the EGA for a second? Oh yeah, that's right. I turned this off so it wouldn't yell at me. That sounds pretty good. What do you guys think? You let me know on your end as well. We going through this, and I always like this saturation effect that that Shane adds to every one of these amps. He adds this nice little saturation thing where you can add or subtract just a little bit if you'd like. And I like it. I like it having it somewhere between like 2.5 and 6. You can kind of play with things and get things sounding kind of neat. Also the input trim, I like to play with that a little bit. The quality in this case, we're gonna jack that right up to 6 instead of back in the day where, you know, depending on how fast your machine was, you'd have to bring it back. Okay, perfect. That sounds pretty good. Not boosted. We've got nothing out in front of this right now. This sounds terrific. Holy cow. And this is what, a decade old? Something along those lines? That sounds good. Again, presence there. We're going to wheel that back. Going to bring the mids back as well. TPA is a gem. I'm surprised that there still isn't anything that comes close. That new Kazrog tube compressor really leaks. Yeah, absolutely. Peaks, get it. It's definitely a rectifier, but a specific one that thrash and death metal guitarist goes for. Yeah. Fuck no. Shane's pretty cool like that. He's always been pretty open. But I do, and Shane, we all remember. Some people remember everything. And one comment that Shane made that I think got, and we're just going to say it because I remember it, and I know several members of the team remember it, and I know that it made each and every one of us very excited when he said it. I'm not saying this was his initial plan. This was initially he had made a comment, simply made a comment about how he had maybe thought about making like a mega suite, like an Amplitube or like a THU or something like that with all of these amps, where he would take all of these amps and put them in one over one just, suite, like 3 panels, whatever, he could put a bunch of his processing gear in there, all the pedals, stack it full. And that got people very, very excited. I was one of those people that was just like, please give that to us. Oh my Lanta, that really sounds freaking insane. And then he decided to go the way of like single plugins, which I understand as well. I totally understand because his modeling is absolutely incredible. And his stuff in a suite style plugin is absolutely incredible. That being said, for the amps in here that maybe he doesn't intend to do with, in the Ampcraft style. So all of these amps, even if you take all of these as they are and put them in a suite with all of his cabinets, that he's got some incredible IRs, incredible cabinets, put those in there with the pedals and just throw it all together in a really easy, don't even have to do anything super graphical. Graphic wise, you don't have to do anything too big. Graphical, is that a word? No, I don't think so. You You could do something where it just all looks very much like a Helix native almost, where it's just all in like grids and sections, and you just click on the stuff you want to use. There's no amp graphics. There's no nothing. It's just very simple, very simplistic. You click on one, and then this exact thing just pops up in like the right-hand side of it, and that's, it's very simplistic. Put all of this under one roof, put it out. You could charge a good penny for it, and people will buy it. I guarantee people will buy it, because I know that it still sounds good. By the end of the stream, you guys tell me what you guys think should be done. This is definitely not us being like, well, darn, this developer should do this because we said so. It's just more or less, experienced users that know the Thermionik Collection and know that it still to this day would definitely hold up its end of the bargain. People will use it as is. I guarantee it. If you put it into a suite with some cabs and the pedals and everything under one roof, without even putting graphics on it, it would be incredible, and it would sell extraordinarily well, and we would get behind it with the absolute force of this channel, and everybody and everyone in the community, I'm sure, would agree that these are incredible plugins. So let's keep going. Let's try turning on. I'm going to turn off the bright for a second so I can bring this up and bring a little of that up. Sounds terrific. I'm going to go back to that. We're going to roll this back a tiny pinch, roll that back a tiny pinch, and roll this back a tiny pinch. We're going to put a screamer into the mix, and we're going to use a newer screamer. You know what? Let's use vintage driver. Why not? Let's use the old school vintage driver. This thing is already set up pretty darn good. That's the thing, right? I think the Kazrog, I don't think that putting all of these amps out and then putting stuff out with Ampcraft, I don't think it would hurt the sales. I think anybody that's really like using this version of it and really likes an amp is going to support the release of said amp in an Ampcraft plugin. I think this is just a way to also, this would be a really good way to find out which of these amps is the most popular. You put all of these amps, everything, in a suite style or a mega suite style plugin, and you wait and see the feedback on all these amps from this brand new demographic of amp sim users that have never used this plugin ever before, never even heard of it. You'd be able to find out, okay, which of these amps are the most popular. Okay, well, everybody seems to be using and loving the fueled silver. So my next amp, let's at least maybe consider a VH4 for the next Ampcraft, because if you do that, then all of a sudden people are going to be like, "Holy shit, you just did a full suite for the fueled silver," and then here we are, right? Or go off the beaten path and say, "Well, they really like the diesels. They seem to really like these diesels. So maybe instead of this, I'm going to go off the beaten path and I'm going to do a Herbert instead." Or what's the other one? There's the Herbert, the VH4, and is it the D-Mall? Is that it? The D-Mall? All right, let's go to the comments here. Dude, I would never get shit on for something you said in our chat. I've actually not been called out for anything I've ever said in a chat, because I just don't I don't talk bullshit. I only talk about what I know. And if I ever am incorrect, I will literally say I'm not 100% sure about this, but here we are. I just never ever I've never as a developer come to me and said, dude, like you should watch what you say and this or that. In fact, the only time in my entire career that I've been in trouble with a developer was when I did a demo for I did a complete miscommunicated an email from Mercurial Audio when they released their metal zone, their metal area. And it seemed like they wanted a demo immediately, right away. Post it right away. It's coming out. We want it ASAP. So I got a demo together as fast as I could and I posted it and they were kind of pissed off. And they're like, dude, that was too soon. And I was like, miscommunication. But I deleted it. No one was really mad and we all kept on working together in the future. It was fun. So this is the only time I think I've ever actually drawn the ire of a developer and where they actually were like mad about something. So just you'd be totally fine talking about, if you guys want to speculate, you guys want to, speculate and put your tinfoil hats on and go over various thoughts, you guys go ahead in the comments. That's what I would love for you to do. And after the videos are done too, and you're watching after the fact, please do feel free to comment as often as you'd like. Just keep it respectful. And I'm always willing to engage with you in those comments. Yeah, dude. Eddie knows. Guys, I know about 15 plugins right now that are not released that I would love to just be like, but there's just, you can't do it. You ruin yourself. I know an influencer that completely ruined himself by making a demo for, and I'm just going to say it out loud because this did happen and I don't care. It was Neural DSP. He got a beta from Neural DSP. I got the same beta from Neural DSP. And this guy did a video, thought he was going to be the cool kid, better to ask for forgiveness than permission kind of scenario. And he put a video out for a plugin that Neural had not put out a video, had not announced yet. And he let's just say the video wasn't up long and he didn't get it. I don't think he got anything else from that company. So don't be that guy. Don't just get on beta programs just so you can be that first guy to have that information. Don't make those videos. Don't do that. Don't do it. Get on betas so you can make a plugin better. Now, if I wanted to warm things up, let's check it out, what it would sound like with True Iron. Without and with. You can feel it. I can just feel it in... Ay. Usually this guitar has actually been a rock for tuning so far. Just once in a while. I don't know where it's off though, because all of these notes are saying they're in tune. Yeah, it's always. All right. Yeah, it sounds terrific. It really does. Let's throw that, let's take that out for a sec. Let's try this trick we were talking about now. We're going to go into here. And I'm going to go and turn off the power amp. Then I'm going to turn on the TPA1. And not every developer likes when you mix their products with other developers in like some sort of a showcasing type way. But this is the way it was back in the day. Old school developers don't care because they understand that this is just the way things are back in the day. You had to mix components. It just was the way things were. Even though, I will say that Shane has always had really great IRs, full sounding IRs that had like, detail and depth. They're always some of my favorite. So I'm using the KTs right now. This would be sort of like the Kerry King Marshall, where it's sort of a JCM 800 that has a sort of an 800 that's got a KT 88 power section. Yeah, buddy. Buddy! Terrific. Oh man, that lick's so sweet. We got to go back. Hold on. Here it is. I really want to learn this lick. See if I can. I don't think I'm going to be able to learn it, but let me listen to it again with an older frame of mind. That part would fuck me right up. That slide. I couldn't do that part. There's no way. Oh, man, I love this band, though. God, that's a good song, Grand Failure Anthem. Great song. All right, what in the comments? Let me... Famous Cobra. Yes, sorry, guys. I'm just going back through the comments. Yeah, I know, right? Pedro, I'm telling you. If you're in the comments, by the way, come on. Chat it up, folks. I know, I realize Sunday morning stream is probably not going to be the most well-attended of streams, but hey. Yeah, that lead lick, fucking unreal. And the solos. I remember someone saying that, like, no, Soilwork doesn't have good solos. Hold up. Hold up. Love that pan right there. If you're on, you're probably on mono right now, but check out this little pan here. It's great. Nice. I love little shit like that. That's great. What a great song. What a great fucking band. With that singer from the Speed Straight has like the most ridiculous vocal range and vocal versatility I've ever heard. The guy can do low guttural death metal, and he can do super high power metal type fucking shit. And then he's also in Terror 2000, where he's a thrash singer. If you haven't heard Terror 2000, that band is super good too. Like, Soilwork was so good at one point that like they just had other songs with the guys from Darkane and made Terror 2000. You're like, what? Like, those Darkane is another band that's, I think they were always underrated. They had a couple really good albums too. Like, I understand that he knows he's going to make it better, and I have no problem with that. What I'm saying is, I don't think it's going to hurt. I really don't think it would hurt the Ampcraft series if he put these out in either the way they are now for people to just build on their own, or if he put them out in sort of like a mega suite that is very simplistic in its graphics and everything else. Do not do anything crazy for graphics. Leave it as very similar to what it is. Just give it to people in a way that's maybe somehow puts it all in one box for the people that want everything in one box. I can promise you right now, absolutely with 100% confidence, that if he was to put all of these into a mega suite, it would instantly become the best sounding mega suite on the market today. It would sound better than Amplitude. It would probably sound better than THU. It would sound better than it would sound just a little better than Positive Grizz Bias Effects, wouldn't it? Anything sounds better than that. Literally, the noise I just made sounds better than that plugin. In any event, moving along, any of those plugins, if you look at the quality that you'd be getting with this versus, you know, say like an Amplitude, I'm just going to go with this instead because this is better tones than Amplitude. I don't care what it looks like. Yeah, it's fun to look at something cool. It's fun to give you that feeling of a real amp and all that, but at what cost? If this was available in a mega suite for a reasonable price, this would sell through the roof, and people would, I think it would only be a selling feature and a way to market future plugins and maybe figure out what is going to be the next move for the Ampcraft series. Man, gosh. All right, let's keep going. What do we got? What do you mean? All right, let's keep going here. I want to use I'm going to use the fueled blue. Did someone list earlier what the difference between the blue face and the silver face are in the VH4? Anybody? All right, let's just play around with it and see what happens. I'm going to turn off the vintage driver. You're going to have to be careful with all the random stuff that I may or may not be using today. I almost used power section into power section. Got to be careful with that. Okay, so I've got the diesel VH4 blue face here. That sounds pretty good. And I could be putting this through like a diesel cab right now. That's probably what I could do, but I'm not gonna. And this is probably a pretty close to what I would normally set a VH4 up for. Now we'll throw a tube screamer in there to tighten it up there. We're going to use the just the vintage driver from the original collection. It sounds pretty like a tasty jam. Let's try the Dead Horse. Dead Horse sounds great. So we're going to stick with the Dead Horse. Give it a little bit of a there, and then give it a little bit of a there. Give the quality up to 5, up to 6. Pretty things are nice, but I mean, there are a lot of, let's be honest. But can I be straight with you guys, as I usually am? There's a few things on the market today that look wonderful and sound like a fucking potato. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Stop buying into graphics like they are all you need. It's really silly. It might look good in your content, but apart from that, is it going to sound good? Because you don't want to sound like an asshole. You know what I mean? Like, bad tone is bad tone. And it really sucks watching some influencers use plugins that I can just tell they don't like just because someone is giving them $500. $500 is wonderful. Or $1,000, sure, that's wonderful. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that, because if somebody out there goes and buys the plugin based on my recommendation and they hate it, all of a sudden, who's the asshole here? I can remember a few influencers getting behind a positive, gritty type product. I mean, it was definitely a gritty and positive. You know, I'm not sure which developer it was, but it was definitely gritty. And there were some influencers that put themselves behind that product, with like in a big way. And then a lot of us bought that product and we're like, what the fuck am I listening to here? Because I'm pretty sure the Lapoo amps I've been using for years crushed this thing like a fucking beer can. That at the time, you know, all the Thermionik collection and the Lapoo amps and everything else that I was using when that particular gritty plugin came out, I was pissed off. I'm like, how can I be wrong? What's wrong with my head and my ears? What am I missing here? How do all these people that we respect and we love use this plugin, but I can't seem to figure out how to get a good tone out of it? This thing sounds huge. Huge. All right, guys. I was going for a lead lick there and I missed it. This is sounding pretty nice. So again, we're just using the Thermionik Fueled Blue. I still can't figure out what the difference is here. Somebody must have said it and I missed it. This is the only time I'm ever going to talk shit on a developer is that one developer in particular. Otherwise, guys, I'm always going to keep it nice and positive about most things. Just going to be negative about the positive grid. All right, keep your money away from that company. All right, we're going to move along. I'm going to use one of the 5150s. I'm going to go to my favorite one right away. I'm going to go to the blue channel. Set it up exactly as I would set it up in real life, as I've done many times with this exact plugin. And I've always been a fan of this plugin. Just takes a second to set things up just the way you'd like. And then you're good to go. Let's see what we got here. All right, we're going to hit bright, and we're going to crank the gain. For reals? For reals, yo? Let me tune up, guys. Been pretty good, though, today. Always got to be that F/G. Sounding pretty good. We're just going to have to get a pedal going here. Perf. Sounds pretty good. Yeah, buddy. I really want to try the Paul Landers fly rig. Yeah, man, we did that ton. If you guys are curious, we did a Rammstein. Do you guys want to do another? As soon as, I'll tell you what, the very second that Chris updates the Rev, or the next, yeah, we could do it without that too, but the second he does that, remember, the Paul Landers fly rig is just a slightly edited or a slightly modified version of the I think it's like the PSA, or what is it? Hold on. It's in Black Rooster Audio. Right here. Is it the GA-GT2? Yeah. This is it right here. This is the bad boy right here that you need if you want to do Rammstein. The GA-GT2 from Black Rooster Audio is the closest you're going to get to Paul Landers' guitar tone without actually having that fly rig. We came really, really close to matching his tone in a stream. You guys can go check that stream out. It's way back, during the way back. I think before episode 1 of the Amp Sim show, we did a full stream with rectifiers and this, and we got really close. I used his settings that I took right from the internet that he used to use on this exact unit, not the plugin, to the unit it's based on. And it sounded really close. So yeah, get out there. And this thing is not expensive, guys. Real cheap. And designed by a true genius. Andre over at Black Rooster Audio is a monster. The dude is a monster. Might not have heard of Black Rooster Audio, but if you have not, now's the time to go and check them out. Fantastic developer. Been around a long time as well. So which amp am I using next, guys? Phraskin, how are you? I had the Flay rig. Is it the Bobby Flay rig? Oh, just kidding. Du hast tones. But this, Dan. I love that. Just that one song. Let's get a rectifier going so I can get this Rammstein tone happening. This is, I think, a triple rectifier. I think this is a triple rectifier. We're gonna go to, I believe they used Red Modern. Red Modern. All right. I'm gonna use I don't think they use a Tube Screamer though. We're gonna have to tune this thing up. I don't know what exactly his settings, but I think it's something along the lines that I'm setting up right here. I always felt that this amp just needs to be tightened up though. Nice. Nah, not that close. I'll admit, I didn't try that hard. I really should just go and look. Just try some more though. That sounds way closer. However, I want to inject this other way of looking at things as well. I myself have also come to a point where I realized something was stale and needed to pull the plug on that thing. And even though there were a lot of people telling me not to pull the plug on said thing, and a few people I really enjoyed as personally also got quite angry with me about something that I also just kind of pulled down. And looking back, I look back and I wish I had not. I wish I had maybe thought things through the clear head, but at the same time, no regrets either. So I can totally understand how a developer might wake up one morning and say, geez, that plugin's just not really doing her anymore. That being said, I really feel like it should have stayed on the market there. I think it would honestly be just fine with a few small upgrades here and there. But again, not my business. Not my business to say anything along those lines. I just really like this collection, and I wish I could promote it more. I wish I could use it more often in streams. But unfortunately, it's hard to use stuff in streams where when you just know that people cannot go and buy something. And then it becomes, what's the point? It's nice to, tease old plugins. And while we're teasing this old Thermionik, I wanted, what is it again? Yeah, there's another one from the old school that you can get still that I really want to... Anybody know that knows, they know what I just did. Anybody that knows, they know. It doesn't make sense to everyone, I don't think. But if you know, you know. Wait, did I just move it or not move it? Where did I put it now? What did I just do with the Wagner Sharp? Okay. Let's take you and just put you right here at the top of these marshals. Okay, so this is the Wagner Sharp, and this is sort of a Wagner preamp. This, again, this is one of those things where you just know, if you know, you know. I'll show you guys a little bit, just a really quick version of what this could do back in the day as well, and that this is still available. You guys can still go get this. And just takes me a second to set this up. And here we go. Dead horse. So this is one of the old Nick Crow Labs plugins, and of all the old Nick Crow Labs stuff, this is the one. There's still, you can go get a bunch of them, but I'll be honest, some of them don't really hold up like they used to. This, however, does hold up like it used to, and that's why I still have it installed, because I still like using this. If you have not got the Nick Crow Lab Wagner Sharp 2 guitar preamp, you need to make sure you also grab the TPA1 to make sure it's got a power section. If you don't want it to have, you want to have a solid state type feel, you don't even have to do that. Just pump it right into an IR and you're done. I do like using it with the tube section here, because I feel like it just makes it's a fun plugin to use. It really is. Whereas the Wagner, you can't tell me that that does not sound terrific. Yeah, man, this thing is awesome. Handcrafted in Italy. I didn't know Nick Crow was based in Italy. Wonder who he's working for these days. That's one coder that I'm wondering. I always wondered what happened to Nick Crow. Anybody know? Does anybody know whatever happened to Nick Crow Labs? Did he end up going to work for somebody else? What was the story there? What do you mean was awesome? Still is. Mark Studios, nice to see you. I don't know if you just jumped in. I didn't see you comment. Thomas, how are you? Freyskin, how the fuck are you? Nice to see everybody. Nice to see everybody. It's nice. The Recto and Josh Middleton is also really solid. I agree. NDC and NDSP Fort and Cali. Is that the Mindsinger guitar? She's a beauty. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. This is the Mindsinger. And if you guys ever want to see anything on it, please do. Just ask, and I'm happy to just hold it up. If there's anything you want to know more about, I'm happy. If you have any questions about the build process or anything about Mindsinger, please do ask. The neck on this guitar is quite something. If you could turn this over, this is insane. And this guitar gives me this constant feeling of not being worthy. It does, legit. Okay, I'm gonna move on to another amp because I'm having a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun because all these components are absolutely true sounding components. I may come back this afternoon because I don't have a lot to do this afternoon. I may come back to this afternoon with a THU stream for anybody that's interested. I know that's going to be a lot of streamage in one day, but at the same time, you know, if you want to tune in, you can tune in. If you don't, you don't. It is what it is. All right, let's go through the SLO 100, and I can set this up how I would like as well. I also want the depth. Depth control. I used to, back in the day when I didn't have the best machine, I would just turn off the presence and depth controls and then just kind of see the best I kind of just modify things the best I could with just the EQ. And I got a lot of great tones. Got a better machine, started using the presence more often. There is a bit of a tick in usage when you decide to use the presence and the depth controls, but nonetheless, a lot of ways that you could kind of, back in the day, you could also take the power amp modeling out of the equation and use like colored IRs. That would also save you something on that, I guess. But these days you could run these things at full power, full bore, and your machine probably won't even notice that you're doing it. Okay. Let's see what we got. All right, that sounds pretty good. Let's use the lead. Oh, that was about to be real loud. That sounds good, though. That sounds good. Let's take off the dead horse here. Oh, that sounds good. Let's go get a Soldano cabinet, shall we? Let's go get my favorite Soldano cabinet. Gonna go in here, go to the Dr. Bonkers, and go to the Solo 412. Hype Reel Mixes. And 414 Hype Reel Mix. And we're going to go to the F757. And let's go back. Make sure we have this all fair. Whoa. All right, throw a boost in now. Sounds delightful. So I'm using... Oh, wait. I did it again. See? I did it again. There we go. I did it again. I got to make sure I don't do that today. It's going to be a lot of components moving around. Oh, I just blasted somebody. I regret nothing. If I wanted to, I could just, if I wanted to do that, I could just turn off the power amp, like I said. But we're switching things up today. Just having some fun, hanging out with Kazrog's Thermionik. Fun plugin. Plugin collection, rather. Hey, guys, won't be here for long, unfortunately, but I can hang out for a little bit. Nice to see you, Bo. Thank you so much. Bo's a busy guy these days. Busy beaver, Bo. Oh, yeah? Really? He must be working for somebody. I don't doubt it. I know there was a certain developer that did hire up some of the older companies. People from the older companies. I can't say which one, but because it'd be pure speculation. Let's try to throw in a delay of some sort here. Cool. That's all I got, guys. I don't have lead skills. I just have guitar store licks. Or like, I have just enough lead skill to impress somebody long enough to look in my direction at a guitar store and realize that I'm not very good and go back to what they're doing. Oh, that was a sharp lick. Oh, wait a minute. He's not very good. He's done with the lick. All right. Guys, I am going to take a quick break. And I'm going to come back, and we're going to come back for another who knows how the fuck long on what it's going to be a good time. I'm going to let the chat decide. I am going to come... Message retracted? Why are people retracting messages? Don't do that. All right, guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let the chat decide. We have 8 people in here right now. Do you guys in the next stream want to see THU? Or do you guys in the next stream want to see Amplitude? I have stacked and ready to rock for both of those things. I can tell you with an absolute smile on my face that IK Multimedia Tonex will never, or as long as they are allowing people to upload profiles and captures of other plugins that are currently for sale on the market today, I will not be supporting Tonex. Won't do it. There won't be a single slice or a mention of Tonex. I don't even think it's that bad. I've definitely rejuvenated my interest, and I find it fun to play around with, but I refuse to use it in content or a stream or anything else until they figure out that glitch, because it just is what it is. I've got my morals and principles and my ethics, and not going to do it. I feel like that's borderline piracy, and I don't feel like a developer should be doing it. So we can't do Tonex today, but if you guys want to see a THU or Amplitude 5 Max Edition, I'm happy to show one or the other, or we could go back and forth, but that would be really, really confusing and kind of annoying. I'd rather just keep it one in one. So I'm fully stocked and ready to rock on both. Overloud reached out to me recently with the THU2 upgrade, so maybe it's THU today, because there is the Randall stuff, Eddie. Randall stuff. I'm not actually going to lead anybody in the right way in either direction, because I really don't care either way, because both of them are actually pretty damn fun to mess around with. That's going to be your choice. The second half of this stream is going to be more, maybe adding some more effects, playing around with some more stuff, having a good time, and just hanging out on a Sunday, doing the gear chat thing with some people that are really great. So you guys let me know. I will be gone for about 2 or 3 minutes tops. Going to get myself another beverage and re-enhance myself for the rest of the afternoon. All right, guys, so I will see you 2 or 3. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate each and every one of you for exactly that. See you guys in a minute. Hello, everybody. +1 for amplitude. THU, amplitude. My IK rep hasn't gotten back to me in a while. The last time I actually like fully spoke to my IK rep, I was just sort of, I was dealing with like, they wanted to promote Tonex, but the plugin just kept on crashing, taking forever to open, crashing, and I just like I can't work with this. I'll wait till you guys figure it out. Which is exactly what every influencer should say. If a developer is asking you to do a piece of content with a piece of unstable software that's got lots of bugs in it, you don't need that kind of stress in your life. Tell the developer, hey, can you send me a finished product? Or not something that feels like it should be in beta still? Like, I don't know. I just am this under the absolute firm belief that by the time a plugin comes out, it should be 97% bug free. Obviously, you're going to find bugs with a full scale release, but I always felt that there should be something else there. So, with the old plugins here, some of the power amp modeling, I've heard somebody had said recently that he felt that the only thing about the Thermionik Collection that had aged a tiny bit was the power amp modeling felt a little bit stiff in comparison to what is being used now. And that's, you're entitled to your opinion for sure. And I wouldn't say that's entirely inaccurate, especially when you use it compared to the Ampcraft stuff. But at the same time, you could definitely goose things a little bit to warm them up, and still put them in like a mega suite, and then still keep doing the Ampcraft upgraded versions of these plugins. Maybe do, a small percentage, like, 10% off for, Thermionik Collection owners, something like that. I don't know. I really hate telling people this is what you should do with your business and your products. I'm not saying that by any means. It's just we're spitballing here. We're just making suggestions, and it would just be so fun to see more people experience this collection because it is just so good. It is. It really is good. You're absolutely correct, sir. Paying customers should never be beta testers. 100%. That is, truer words have never been spoken. Well, there's probably a lot of true words that have been spoken, but that's very true words from Bo right there. Do not, don't release stuff when it's, it's super broken. There's a few developers that have done that, and I think it was just mistakes made in the beta testing cycle. This is the only one of the ones that was free. You guys want to get a better look, we can do a better look. There's not a ton to look at with these, but let's for the second little bit, let's just have a look anyway. You guys are probably sick of my face anyhow. Interesting. What's going on here? Oh, I see. So this one was free for a little bit. Not a long time, but it was free for a bit. This is based on the Framus Cobra. And it's a very cool amp. My good friend Stefano Marabito is he lives and dies by this amp. By this cabinet as well. Loves the cabinet. Loves his 5150s as well, but I know him to very much enjoy. And this one sounds super good, guys. No, there's no pedal in front of it. I want to note that. We do talk about video games here from time to time. And something came up with the wife and I this morning. And it came it came up the second I started playing Cyberpunk. I didn't buy it at release because I heard it was a train wreck, but when they finally got it all figured out and put it out there, that's when I tried it. So I never really got the old experience. I got only the new experience, and then they've just kept on beefing that game up and making it better and better. However, not the point. Am I the only person, because I think it's only a certain age demographic, a certain generation, or at least a certain generation and backwards? Am I the only, tell me I'm not the only one that started playing Cyberpunk and said, this is just Johnny Mnemonic. This is literally just Johnny Mnemonic. It's a guy, and his name's even Johnny. And he's got something stuck in his head. It's Keanu Reeves, and there are Japanese people trying to kill him. This is, I've seen this before. Did they, you know what I mean? It's very interesting. I watched Johnny Mnemonic this morning, and man, if you haven't seen Johnny Mnemonic, you really should watch it. It's a really fun movie. Keanu Reeves has had just such a great career, but it was separated. He had like a young career and all these tons of great movies in like the 80s and 90s, and then he went like kind of just quieter for a bit, and then now he's exploded again, and he's got like this old Keanu and young Keanu careers, but in the middle, there's a lot of like other stuff. Anyways, it's a great movie. Holy cow, that sounds good. Oh, wrong note. I went up instead of down. I went up one. It's not even boosted and it sounds that good. Hit the notch. Yeah, buddy, you know what that does. That turns us into Scoopsville. Oh, that sounds good, doesn't it? Oh my goodness gracious, that sounds pretty good. Wonderful. This thing is awesome too. I'm gonna scoop this out here instead of using the notch. And it's such a unique sounding amp at the Famous Amps. That's another company that, man, they made really cool amps that are, I guess, that company is now defunct, I think. Very strange that, I don't know if it's defunct or not, because someone is still making Devin Townsend's guitars, and one of the dudes from Simple Plan is still using Framus guitars as well. The amps are now out of, is it just a custom shop? What's the story? Does anybody know? I know it had something to do with Warwick. It had something to do with Warwick, I think, at one point. I don't know. All Mnemonic and Blade Runner. Am I still on that Soldano cab? I am too. Cool. I'm going to go back to the EGA just for fun. I'm really glad to have you guys here today. We're just hanging out. We're using some... This cabinet makes... This the EGA 412. If you haven't bought it from Dr. Bonkers yet, you gotta go and buy the EGA 412 and get this 414 Hype Real Mix in your collection ASAP. Even if you buy that pack for even just one file, it's worth the entire pack is worth what it's worth for just one file for me. I would buy that in a heartbeat. I would spend $50 on the Perfect Impulse for me. I'm not saying that, and everyone's different though, what makes a Perfect Impulse response, but in my case, that's definitely the one. All right, so let's keep going. We're gonna keep going through the some of the thermionic stuff. Little true iron in there too. Now listen to it. Wowzers. My goodness gracious, folks. It's such a puzzle to me. I would love to be able to do something with this. Like, I just would love to, man, if it ever something, if he ever decides to do anything with this, all I can say is Shane and Kazrog, we would promote this into the stratosphere and then back down right into the dirt. I will promote this thing until the wheels fall off. Okay? If that ever happens, but if the wheels fall off, hopefully somebody will be there, but to give me a ride home. Why don't we just make this an IR stream? Is there something you guys want me to try from any developer? Let me know. I will happily test impulses from... I have impulses from Celestian, Devil's Lab, Dr. Bonkers, Eddie Sharface, Eminence up here, Bogren Digital, Fat Lazy Cabs, Call Thalen, ML Sound Lab, Own Hammer, Red Wires, Seek House Signature IRs, a pack that is no longer available, but gosh, is it ever great. Brian, bring that free pack back, buddy. This was the pack of packs right here. The Seek House Signature IRs, they were awesome. Sinmix, recently the wheels, he decided to stop the wheels on that particular effort. I'm gonna be actually kind of upset, to be honest, because Gregor over at Sinmix is one of the nicest dudes out there. Man, a few words, but much talent. So I don't know why he gave it up, but that's kind of a bummer. And we would love to. I actually emailed Gregor at Sinmix to see if maybe he would want to, pardon me, on his way out the door, maybe give us the approval to use his stuff in the NAMM Universal plugin. I haven't heard back from him, but I would love to. Also, I've got Valhallier, Wilkinson Audio, and York Audio. The new Eddie IRs. I don't have the brand new ones. I have to go and grab those. I also have Lewin's new IR pack over at Devil's Lab, guys. Go and check it out. Devil's Lab IRs. He's got another pack that he just put out with some experimental. Eddie, what did he do there? I know you guys were talking about. What did Lewin do with that new pack? He did something cool with it where he there's vented cabinets or something to that effect. One cabinet I would love to see, though. Two cabinets I would sure love to see. And I think the only ones I can think of are... Do I have the recabinet stuff in here? Under miscellaneous? I would love it if I had the miscellaneous... If I had the old... I don't know if I have it or not. Let's go back here for a second. Miscellaneous. Do I have the Kazrog reamp stuff? Or the recabinet, sorry. The original recabinet. I don't think I do. Because that's got a Gensbens in it. Gensbens. However, I've heard it said both ways. It doesn't matter to me how you say it. Either way, it doesn't seem like I'm getting... No. So I don't have those available. But anyways, if you guys, there's anything you guys want to hear, let me know. I'm happy to test out anything that you guys would like. Would have been nice if he had put that Gensbens in his... Oh man, that is just my favorite cabinet that I ever owned. The two of them were the Gensbens 212 ported cabinet and a crank rev solid poplar with eminent speakers. The thing weighed over 100 pounds. And it was just, you could put anything through either of those cabs and the amp would sound better through those cabs than anything else in the room. I guaranteed it. And man, that was a cool cabinet. And you can get those Gensbens cabinets for almost nothing. I saw one on a marketplace. The guy, he knew what he had. He knew what he had, and it was like $250. I bought mine locally for a song and a dance, and I've ended up selling it because I had no need, no use. The York Mesa 412 E30s? Sure. Sounds good. I would love to. Is it just the Mesa OS? Mesa OS V2. Sure. Sounds good. Let's go with some mixes. Go with some blends. All right, let's see what we got here. I got True Iron running. I've got the Serpent running. Let's see what we got. That sounds really good. I'm going to shave a little bit of the presence off. Oh my gosh, I did it again. I'm trying to throw in this little lick every once in a while in certain areas, and I can't do it yet, guys. So I'm going to fuck that up every once in a while. Just, be gentle for now. That sounds just super good. Eddie is, who is this Eddie? Eddie is on the team here and known in the chat as Eddie Shar. No ignorance to it. Eddie's new V30s blended with a VT. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to make sure that right after the stream, I get everything from Eddie that he's made since the Namu stuff, like since I put all his stuff in that kit. But I definitely will get around to doing that. I'd like to make some more blends with Libra with his stuff as well. Let's try some more of the mixes, the blends here. Let's try it with a rectifier. Or Trying to think of all the amps that sound great through. Let's try it with just an OG 5150. Shall we? Use it with the 5150. And I think that's another amp that always sounded really good through an oversized Mesa cab. Can make this warmer. A true iron on. All right, guys. You ever seen Bad Boys 2? Have you ever pointed your gun in the air and gone, ah? See you later, Bo. See you. Have an absolutely wonderful day, Bo. Bo is doing some pro bono work right now in the IR department. I don't like that IR as much. Let's keep going. Man, that is just stanky. Not in a bad way. Stanky, but good stanky. This one's a bit different. There's a few of these. So now, we're going to talk about this for a sec. Excuse me. Now, this amp right here is based on the 5150 block letter, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Now, are you telling there is no universe where this competes with Ampcraft 1992, but with a little bit of just a tiny bit of extra warmth in a multi-amp suite that is of the cost-effective, potentially cost-effective variety, with a stripped-down look, stripped-down needs for computers, etc. There's no way that you're going to be like, well, I've got the Psycho A and this, I don't need the Ampcraft 1992, because there is a universe of difference in between the two. But I'm wondering, what is the universe of difference? Is it simply that, since then, is it, the same modeling as far as the preamp goes? Was it completely remodeled? Did he overhaul just the power section, and thus it made it sound way better, as we've seen with many developers over the years, where they make a few strides forward in their power amp modeling, and then all of a sudden everything sounds better, like Amplitude, for example. When they overhauled their power amp modeling over at Amplitude, at IK Multimedia for Amplitude, it changed the game for that plugin. It made it instantly. There was no cardboard box, way fewer empty shells, in the empty shell syndrome being that oftentimes in those mega suites, they offer you lots and lots of components with this cute little graphic that makes it look like the original thing. But deep down, there are companies out there that just take advantage of the fact that they're giving you about 8% of a real components, and just taking advantage of the fact that you, the customer, the user, have probably not used that pedal in real life and won't really know any different. You'll just look at it like, wow, I got one of those in the new plugin. So, but if there's nothing under the hood, it's an empty shell, in which this case, there would be nothing. There would be no empty shells with anything from a Thermionik. And there's nothing in the Thermionik collection that isn't really good. But some companies, they just don't continue to make those upgrades. And when you don't continuously upgrade, that's where, you end up, right? See you later, Freyskin. Appreciate you. I'm going to be on here for a little bit longer, just hanging out with this this guy right here. I'm going to turn on the Voltour for a second, just for fun. All right, now with the Voltour. I was pretty curious about the Lancaster WGS speakers. I do have those. It's a weird vibe. I knew this would come up eventually. There are a lot of the Lancaster DIs were shot a really long time ago, and I don't care whether they want people to know this or not, because there are more than a few people that made a purchase after things became Lancaster and got a Rosen Digital library because things were not properly and fully rebranded so everything was marked. You were buying Lancaster. A lot of people got Rosen Digital stuff and were like, I already own that though. And so everything between that anything that between the Rosen Digital library and Lancaster, I don't know if what they did to those libraries, if they re-EQ'd them or redid something with them, but the Rosen Digital libraries are fucking awesome. Do I have those installed? Oh, hang on. I don't know if I have those installed, but the original Rosen Digital stuff, then that was rebranded Lancaster Audio. But then after that stuff, they started shooting other stuff as well. So there's a difference in the format and everything else. You'll notice the Rosen Digital stuff has the blends and the mixes, and they were one of the first companies to do that, by the way. Them, Ownhammer, a couple others were the first companies that just started blending files for consumer use rather than watching people constantly blend files, and they just save people some time. And now, of course, everyone does it because it's awesome. I love blended files. If you want to blend your own files, by the way, to make your own custom IRs, not for resale, of course, you can make it in STL Tones plugin called Libra. If you want to make your own custom IRs, you can load up to, I think there's eight different cabinets, and you can blend and you can do all sorts of stuff to them, and then rename it and put it into your favorites file. I've done a few times. It's wonderful. But really quickly, I want to see if I have the Lancaster stuff fired up. I don't know if I do or not. I think it's one thing I forgot to put on this new machine, and that would make sense. Let me go into my miscellaneous. Is it in here? LL Lancaster. No. So I got to go and make sure I go to log into my Lancaster account and go and get all that stuff. That'll be exciting. So one of the next streams, yes, we will do an IR stream in one of the next streams where I just use like 1 amp, do 1 amp sim, and we'll just go over cool IRs. We'll just use, I'll use Kazrog's 1992, and for a free option, I will use the Audiority L12X, which is a phenomenal and transparent way to really test out IRs. I use it to test a lot of different things, and it's just so handy for testing pretty much anything. One thing I will use Tonex for is the pedals. I will showcase the pedals because I think pedals are fun, and I don't think there's a lot of developer modeled stuff in the pedals, although geez, I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm still going to be, I'm going to try that out in a stream at some point soon. So maybe we could make like a day of that. I love building signal chains in streams. It's super fun. All right, guys. So I'm going to wrap this one up in a couple of minutes. So what did we discuss? What did we figure out today? Well, we figured out not a couple of minutes, maybe another 20 minutes or so. But in the meantime, if there's something you want me to try inside this bunch here, do let me know. If there's something you want to check out, do let me know. In my opinion, this is with some minor improvements in like the warmth of of just even some of them, some of the amps power sections, even just a little bit of extra warmth in there. And gosh, these things would still sell like hotcakes. I really think they would, without graphics, just the same way they look now. Just understand, make people understand. Like put out even do a marketing campaign with. You could even do like a marketing campaign where it just does not matter. Just tell the users that you are aware they look very simple. You are aware they don't look like real amps, and you are aware that people kind of like having that real amp feel. But you know what's better than a real amp feel when you're looking at it? A real amp feel and tone when you're listening to it. And when other people are listening to stuff that you create with it, it matters to them too. So what doesn't matter, the average listener that's listening to your music online or wherever else you have it or watching your content, they can't see the plugin. They don't care. And unless it's for a demo, a review you're doing, in which case, then you would be also on that marketing standpoint of, hey, we're not caring about looks today. We want to listen to it and how it sounds. Look at Helix Native, for example. Line 6 Helix Native does not use Look at they don't use graphics. They use these teeny tiny little thumbnail versions of all the gear just to give people an idea of what they're choosing. Oh, I've seen that before. I've seen this before. So yeah, absolutely. You could do things either way. And man, I would just love to see these in a way. I can totally understand how he might not want to do the amps that he's got planned for Ampcraft. But let's be honest here. I mean, as we've said already, it's probably not going to discourage a purchase. All right, guys. So we're going to wrap today up in a couple of minutes here. If there's anything else in the next couple of minutes that you guys really, really want to check out, I don't know how. I'm not going to tell everybody to go email Shane and say, hey, can you hook me up with this collection? Can I pay you somehow on the side for this access to this? Is there any way I can get my hands on it? That's not really what a developer's got time for. However, emailing a developer and saying, hey, gosh, it'd be really, really cool if you put this back on the market. Then, I've a couple different developers that have done that have actually said to people that requested it, hey, man, I'm going to send it to you, or we can still do that, or, whatever. So always make sure that, if there's something you want to see a developer do or not do anymore, I'm telling you right now, you got to use your voice or, your typity voice, and, don't be rude about it. Just be kind of professional and tell them, hey, I love this plugin that you guys make, or used to make, but, can you guys, is there, any chance that you guys are going to update it soon? That's another thing that must have been a real nightmare, is updating all these. That was the big problem. These are all individual plugins, and updating all these individual plugins. Oh my God, there's so many of them. Look at all these amps. That is another big reason why a developer may choose to pull something down, because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And for developers out there that have tons and tons of releases, what are we seeing? We're seeing a lot of them start to pull components into one and plugins into one kind of chunky, host plugin. And, all I'm saying is I'd really, really love to see it. That's all we can do. All we can do is email developers and say, hey, is there any way you're going to thinking about doing something with this? Man, Shane, if you're out there and you end up watching this, man, again, please consider it. Even just putting the entire collection complete with recabinet like you used to, and those awesome IRs like you used to, put all that together, man, that would be a real trip. It really would. It'd be a real trip. You just put it back online for the $50 it was at, with a disclaimer like, yeah, this is I'm putting this back up at popular demand. Understand that these will not be updated further. Understand that it is a cost-effective suite. You're going to have to build your own single chains. Just put it out there, what it is and what it isn't, and just give people the opportunity to be able to have it, because I can guarantee there's a few people that watch our streams that would really love to get their hands on this collection just to build their own chains and maybe use their own warming effects and do some recording with some really, really great work that the company has done in the past. All right, guys, so I am going to be back. I'm going to go make some food. I think I'll probably be back in the ballpark of 2:30-ish. We're going to do some amplitubing, and maybe we'll get into some mega sweet types. Maybe we'll get into THU as well. Okay, guys, so maybe we'll just do a little bit of both and comparing. We'll just call it comparing amplitude and THU potentially. I wouldn't mind getting into both. So thank you, guys. He's got nothing to lose. But that being said, it's not my company. It's not our company. All we can do is reach out to the developer in any way possible and say, hey, we love your stuff. We would love it if it came back. And we would fully and 100% at no charge whatsoever support this release, do a couple of contests maybe, get it goosing out there, let people know that Thermionik Collection is back, you know, in its original form, you know, just it would be cool. I just think it would be really, really fun, no matter whether it's in a suite or if they're all still in the singles, with this idea that we are not going to upkeep this with updates. These plugins are as they are. They have not had bugs in several years, but they are not going to be brought into any other direction, whichever. Even having another idea would be like, you know, Nembrini Audio has what's called plugin rig, where you can just kind of drag and drop components into this little signal chain. You could do that too. Then again, it's sort of redundant unless it's on like iOS or something like that. You could just drag and drop right into your plugin chain. However, plugin rig is something that could be used as a standalone without a DAW. Options. So that being said, I'm still giving the Kazrog Thermionik Collection a nice and solid high score for what it is. You have to look at it for what it is. When it was discontinued and taken offline, it was at, I think, $50 for that entire collection. $50 for that entire collection. I don't know what it would go up, even if he considered it, if it would go up, or what this. Maybe he's already considered it. Maybe he's got a plan together. Maybe, you know, if I was the person that spent all these hours on these, if I was the person that these would be my babies, and I know that there's no way that with his release schedule, there's no way they're all going to come out in Ampcraft. There's still a lot of these that I think people would really, really love. So that we've said our piece. We will continue to show off the old school plugins that are either still available or not available. You guys saw the Wagner Sharp, which is definitely available on several free websites. Guys, go out and get it. Go out and find it. And if he ever decides to do something with it, or even if it's for Ampcraft, tell him. You know, reach out to Kazrog and say, man, out of all the old Thermionik amps, I would love it if you would do the Serpent. I would love it if you would do the Ogre XS. You know, I would love it if you would do the Jose Arredondo 800, GMP. All right. So reach out. And like I've always said, developers cannot hear you if you're just talking, you're randomly just chatting on the internet. You got to, not even if you post it on the user group, they still might not see it. They might not even see it if you send it to their Facebook directly. Send them an email. I know emails are old school, but send an email. And usually good ideas and good opinions always get calculated in some way by a lot of these companies. They make notes. All right, folks. So I'll be back in a little bit. We'll hang out with some Amplitude. I'm just going to get myself some food and maybe drop back. If by chance, guys, I will tell you right now, looking at the time, if I am by chance not back online by 2:45, I have decided to take the rest of the day. But I'm very likely, I am amped up. I would like to come in here to do some Amplitude stuff at THU. So I'll see you guys hopefully by 3 o'clock, the latest. All right, guys. All right, see you then.